Hello and welcome to Student Voice, in a world where we are constantly bombarded by news, advertising, binge-watching, podcasting, and constant feeds of information on social media. It's no doubt that these have an impact on all of our lives. But understanding that impact is not something we pay a lot of attention to. So I'm going to start by going around the room here and then going to teams. Everyone introduce yourself in a nice clockwise order. And then state what social media you participate in the most in your life.
All right then. Hello everyone, I'm James Ortiz, and I would say the social media I use the most is Facebook, because A, I'm an old person at heart, and B, I like looking at pictures of cats.
Nice.
Hello, my name is Dakara Hubbard, and the social media platform that I use the most is TikTok, because I just love looking at people dance and sing and whatnot.
Perfect.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Megan Wooten, and my favorite social media is also TikTok because I just like to scroll endlessly for like hours and just waste my entire day.
Nice. And our teams people.
I'll go. Hello, my name is Dana, and I use Twitter the most because I like to look at what's constantly happening.
Hello, my name is Leslie, and I use TikTok the most just because I also like watching mostly what's on trend and people mostly just doing challenges and stuff like that.
All right, perfect. And so we have 3 TikTokers in the house, a Facebook and a Twitter. So since TikTok rules, and I know nothing about this, we'll go around the room in the same way again and explain what the atmosphere is like on that platform.
So it's really just a fun app to be on. You see people's everyday life and different experience that they do. Or like they could just do a simple dance or something that's trending big, or like that's where the most popular songs come from,
Right.
is TikTok. So
Now, do you find it negative at all?
yes, because it takes up most of my time, and I like if I know I got homework to do, then I'll be like, well, let me look
Right.
at a little TikTok first, and then I'll start. But then TikTok take up like 5 hours of the homework time.
What about the community in general, like the comments and things like that?
The comments can be pretty negative. See, the thing is, you can say like I'm kind of popular on TikTok. So like some stuff that I post on there, some people get real negative, like real
Yeah.
body shaming or like
Right.
inappropriate about certain things, because it's nothing bad that I post, but it's just some people just don't agree. So it can be real negative and draining personally.
Yeah, so that affects you
Yeah, it affects me sometimes.
pretty bad. It's hard not to look at those comments when...
Yeah, but you gotta learn how to have tough skin and bypass it, so.
Yeah. And how about you? How's TikTok's atmosphere for you?
For me, I would say it's like pretty happy and joyful. You know, you get your For You page, which is like your page that's inspired by the stuff that you like to watch. So, you know, mine's a lot of like dogs and like comedy skits and stuff like that. But I also like to see like the real aspects of people's lives too that they post on there. For me, sometimes I like go to the comments and like start looking for things that would be negative, and I just don't seem to find them a lot of the time. I just think that it is sort of a more positive community than maybe some of the other social medias that I've experienced.
I
So.
have heard that for sure. And our team's TikToker, what do you think the atmosphere is like on TikTok?
Well, I think it also depends on what we like to watch and everything, because as Megan said, I normally tend to look for negative comments as well, and I don't find them all the time, but then when I do, I'm like, well, like that's mean, but
Right.
I really think it just depends on what you're watching and or who's watching with you. But I mean, I find it mostly fun and happy.
Okay. And our Facebook. How do you find the atmosphere on Facebook?
Well, I personally, from my experiences with it, I find it to be very like personalized, because what all you see on Facebook is only what you, for the most part, allow to see on Facebook. like
Right.
what pages you follow, who you have friended, what groups you choose to be a part of. So in that sense, there's a lot of like control you have over what you see. But like how some of our TikTok people said, like in the comments section, if you post something, you can easily get a lot of negativity. So
Yeah.
that's something you need to be aware of as well.
I feel like there's more control over the privacy type settings. Like if you only want your friends to see your posts, etc., then that's there and available for you. Now, what I notice a lot is I'll get random like news things that pop up, and it'll be some story that's controversial, of course, and then I can't help but look at the comments because I need to see the people fighting. Have you ever engaged in any sort of Facebook fight?
Not particularly, actually. For the most part, I tend to just keep to myself. Like,
Right.
if I see something that's funny, I just give a little haha react, and then just go on about my day.
So would you say Facebook has affected you in a positive or negative way?
I would definitely say a little bit of both positive and negative.
Right.
But if having to choose, I would say definitely more so positive, just because scrolling through your feed, seeing a funny meme or a picture of a cat, it'll give you a little serotonin boost throughout the day.
So you still have that nostalgic feeling of, oh, it's cool to be able to connect with everybody even if I'm not around them.
I suppose so.
All right. And I saved our Twitter user on Teams for last because I'm very interested in Twitter. My personal opinion, if I can give it, is that Twitter is a cesspool of hatred. So what is your feelings about Twitter? Do you think that it's a positive experience or a negative experience?
Well, for me, it usually depends. One day, like 1 hour, something could be like really good. The next hour, somebody's getting canceled or somebody
Right.
died or something. So it's like, it usually depends on the day I get on. Something good happens or something bad happens. Personally, I've never like experienced like something bad, but all the stuff I had experienced, I've been good. Like a new song came out from a group I really like, or like something like that. That's mainly what I use Twitter for, to stay updated for like musicians I like or any type of stuff.
Okay, so you don't frequent the trending page and go that deep into it?
No, not really.
Okay, good. Stay that way. So I'll go around the room again, and I want to know how we typically see the effects of media on others, like the population at large. Do you think it's negative in a general sense with the entire population?
I would say that it definitely has the potential to, just because of how committed many people in the population are for taking whatever they see as the internet as fact.
Right.
So I feel like that is a very potentially dangerous opportunity for false news and otherwise hurtful or harmful information.
Did you purposely not say fake news?
Purposefully?
No? Okay.
Maybe I have.
No, I'm asking if you purposely didn't just now.
No, definitely fake news is something for people to have to be conscious of on the internet, just because they tend to spread like wildfire.
Right.
You just have to make sure you educate yourself well too.
Okay, good.
Well, it can be negative at times, because most of the people that I know like to watch like fights and what else, like bashing other people, as you can say.
I'm one of those people. So
Yeah,
yes,
so
I
it's like
understand.
people like to look at the negativity. That's
Yeah.
what gets social media going on a day-to-day basis. But if you like see something positive, it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I mean,
I
it's
love to
more
watch
so,
it, but I don't like to participate in
Yeah,
it.
like I'm not gonna participate in it, but I look at
Yeah.
the comments and look who all got into the fight, then search the name of the other person that was involved too, so I can
Exactly.
just, that's
Yep.
just me being a nosy individual too.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
I think sometimes you can fall down the hole of just like living in a false reality though, because I think social media has a very negative impact on like certain social issues, and we now have what people call media influencers, and even though they're a media influencer, they're not always showing you what's really going on in their life, which
Right.
is, it's completely up to them because they don't have to make that public. But I just think that a lot of us might fall into the category that we see too much stuff that's just not like that's never going to be a whole reality. And you may see 60 seconds of someone's life, but you didn't see their whole day.
Right.
So I think it's often difficult to separate what could be positive and what could be negative about social media. I think it balances right there in the middle and it just depends on the day.
Yeah, and so do you think that seeing just that positive side and having just everyday normal people try to do that as well to try to gain some sort of social media influence fame, do you think that's bad to strive to be an influencer?
I definitely think it's, for a lot of people, it's not a very stable career. Mm-hmm. And then also, when you put yourself out there like that, you're opening yourself up to, judgment, but then you're also opening yourself up to a lot of support too.
Yeah.
I just think that, for some people it's really good, and for some people it's just absolutely terrible. And you often see these media influencers take breaks, and I just think it has a lot to do with like their mental health when it comes to what they're choosing to share on the internet.
Absolutely. And our teams people, what do you think? Same order, please. Hello.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Do you think, in general, that social media has a negative impact on people in our society?
Honestly, 50-50.
Okay.
I think it does on kids because, just in my personal opinion, because it seems like they're getting a hold of things like social media younger and younger as time goes by, and especially little kids mimic what they see. So if they see bad behaviors, they're going to copy those bad behaviors.
Right. And so let's talk a little bit about the third person effect. So a lot of us think beyond media that we're smarter than the other people we see, or this affects these people, but it would never happen to me. Do you see, and going around the room again, do you think that media influences other people but not you?
I would definitely say that to some degree, everyone is subject to be altered in some way or form by the media. Just some allow it to have a stronger influence over themselves than other people.
Right.
Like how we were talking about with like the influencers, where they like base an entire career almost off of their social media, and having tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people watching their every action. I feel like a person in that situation would definitely be more controlled by their social media than just, say, a normal everyday person like you or I.
Right, okay.
I mean, yeah, basically. I just agree with James.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what else to say.
Do you have anything else to add?
There's definitely that thing that goes through your mind that's like, that happened to them, but that could never happen to me.
Exactly. Yep.
But then you get in the situation where it happens to you, and it's just like terrifying, and I think it harms you in the long run. And I think the social media has a big impact on everybody who uses social media.
And I think it ties into cancel culture in the way that we all want to make that beautiful statement where we're on top of the mountain and everybody look at us. We're on the right side, and we're on the right side of history and progressing, and I am smarter than everyone because I've figured it out. So, teams people, what do you think? Do you suffer from the third person effect? Do you think that media only affects other people and not you?
I don't know if y'all have noticed, but what I've noticed on Instagram lately is that they just recently removed kind of the likes. So for like a day, they had like the likes removed, and you could only see people you followed who liked it, but not the number.
Yeah.
But then recently, I think they put it back, and you just want to think like if people are like that affected by how many likes they get that they like freak out or they want it removed because they're so like insecure about how many they get. I know at one point I was, because everybody's just so worried about that and how popular they can be.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. So with the whole likes thing, I think that also ties into people wanting to be on top of the mountaintop screaming, "I'm right, look at me." Do you think there's an unhealthy association with especially in generations coming up now, with wanting nothing but to see how many likes they can get on whatever they post.
For sure. I think it's like such a big deal to get so many likes.
Yeah.
I think it's just like they feel popular and like everybody, I know girls in like high school, you want to post and see if you can get more likes than your friends because that's just the thing you want to do and you want to keep them. And it's like so awful, but that's just how I know girls work and people just want to be more popular in some type of way.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead, next person on Teams.
Well, I don't think it goes just for girls. Likes do have a lot to do with popularity and how they perceive themselves on social media, but so do the people that follow them, like how many people follow them, and or like for example on Snapchat, like your Snap score and how high is it. I have my little cousin. He's 12 and like he's way up there, and he's only had his Snapchat for a while, and he's like, oh my gosh, I have more points than you. But it's like, well, like I think kids at his age shouldn't really even have a Snapchat. I didn't have a Snapchat until I was in high school, I think. And I just think it's crazy that they're like, that's what they base off of nowadays. Just Snapchat, right. Like Instagram, I think.
It's almost your value as a person nowadays. Like, how many likes do I get on this? And it validates you. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to some lighter topics here. So, hey, let's go around the room, and where do you discover new music, shows to watch, or movies?
I know that with me, a lot of what I discover about new things either getting released or happening is from a lot of the different pages, people, and groups I follow on social media. So like say for instance, I'm in this one group about TV shows and like season 2 of blank is premiering this month. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that's the benefit of Facebook is it's a lot more interactive. Like if you're on YouTube or Twitter limiting your characters, or TikTok, it's more difficult to form a sort of group, like some sort of community. I mean, there's certain ways to do it, and I think Facebook would probably be the one that I'd say is best at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say so too.
Okay. Where do you discover new music, shows, and movies to watch?
I discover new movies and music from TikTok, pretty much.
Okay.
Because people show their reviews on movies and shows and stuff, and then they also put out new music like all the time on TikTok. So I just get everything from there.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on TikTok. I think once you hit a certain age, you stop downloading the new apps and you just stick with the ones you know. What about you? Where do you find new things?
I'm just one of those people that just like scrolls through Netflix until something looks interesting.
Yeah.
I'm also like a terrible decision maker when it comes to like picking what TV and like movie I watch. So normally I just let like the people around me pick. I'm just like, what should I watch? And they're like, okay, I'll tell you what to watch. And then new music, I just like every once in a while, I'll just like play the new hits or whatever on, whatever station I'm playing, and I'll find some new songs, and that's it.
Yeah, my problem with Netflix is that I'll go on there and I'll search and I'll just be like, nah, never mind, screw it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Teams people, how about you? Where do you find your new shows or movies or music to watch?
I don't. Oh,
Go
you can go ahead.
Sorry.
I find music on Spotify.
Perfect.
I find music also on Spotify and sometimes on Twitter, because I usually see like what new song came out, and sometimes I check it out to see if I like it or not.
Awesome. And the last question I'm going to ask you guys is, what are you really excited for coming up this year, such as shows or movies or anything of that nature? Go ahead and go around the room.
I know that there's definitely a lot of different shows, games, movies coming out this year that I'm excited about. I can't really think of any specific names as of right now, though.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll come back to you.
All right.
You can
Okay.
keep thinking and I'll come back to you.
I'm ready for it's a movie called Candyman. So it was the
Okay.
remake from back then. I don't know when the other one was made, but it's a remake of it coming out this year.
Yeah.
Well, it was supposed to come out last year, but the virus came. So they're releasing it this year. I'm really excited for when it comes out. I don't know why, but I love director of the movie, Jordan Peele. He's my favorite
Right,
person.
okay.
And then my favorite music artist, Summer Walker, is supposed to be dropping a new album this year too. And I'm just all for it, all for all of it.
But I will tell you one thing, we won't be picking up certain Dr. Seuss books, will we? So, what are you excited about coming up in the new year?
So there's supposed to be a new Ryan Reynolds movie that's coming out, Free Guy, and it was supposed to come out last year, but it's basically like Ryan Reynolds is like in a video game and he like figures out that he's just like one of the sub characters of the video game.
Nice.
And then isn't there a new Marvel TV show coming out about the Falcon or something?
I can't keep up.
Okay, I'm pretty sure there's a new Marvel TV show coming out after WandaVision finishes. And so I'm really excited for that.
Perfect. All right, teams people, it's same order. What are you excited about coming up this year?
Okay, I'll go. Because our order is never the same. New music, just new music. I've been having the same playlist for a while now, so it's getting a little boring now.
Okay.
That's
And I know there's, I think, a new Bruno Mars album coming out. He's collabing with someone else, but I know Bruno Mars is supposed to drop a new album this year. And then I'm a big fan of Timothée Chalamet, the actor, and so I know he has like 2 movies or 3 coming out this year.
Nice. And so what does everyone think about Texas not having COVID anymore? Kidding. Let me give my final thoughts before we go here. Media can affect us, I believe, in both negative and positive ways. I think it depends on how we engage with the platform ourselves. If we are living in an unhealthy way and we are just striving to get likes upon likes upon likes to validate ourselves, that's obviously not the move. So what I suggest is setting your privacy settings or just your settings on apps in general to make it a healthier environment for you. And with that being said, my name is Edward. That's it for this episode of Student Voice, and have a great day. Also, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you very much.